Steve Harvey be the headliner of the Kings of Comedy. They used to let Steve Harvey was the headliner because at the time he was having the most. He was the most famous.
Right.
But he was bombing too many nights coming behind DL, Sid, and Bernie. They had to make him the host. But Steve Harvey found a way. Even though he wasn't talented, he still found a way. You gotta have the courage to find Steve Harvey and say, Steve, sir, show me how you did it. Show me how you made it with no talent. Find a talentless comedian who made it and ask him, what do you have to do to get it? Even though I could tell you, it's either kiss or boys. Steve Harvey kissed. That's how he got it. Everybody thinks Steve Harvey some stand-up ass man. No, motherfucker, he kissed the old girl who owned TV One. He used to kiss her. That's how he had the radio show out.
Like I always said, he walked alone. I don't think he was walking alone at all. I think Bernie was walking with Jesus the whole time. I just hope Jesus.
Claims like these are dramatic, but they mix speculation with real history, so it's worth separating fact from rumor. There's no verified evidence that Samuel L. Jackson or Katt Williams have publicly torched Marjorie Harvey with concrete proof of wrongdoing. Much of what circulates online comes from commentary, not confirmed reporting. The situation involving Steve Harvey and Bernie Mac is real in one sense. They had tension during the Kings of Comedy era, but claims of sabotage or blacklisting remain unproven. Despite rumors, Steve publicly honored Bernie after his passing, even becoming emotional at his funeral, which complicates the narrative that they were outright enemies. As for allegations from Marjorie Harvey, she has made accusations in the past regarding family matters, including disputes involving their son. However, these claims have largely remained part of legal and personal conflicts rather than independently verified facts. The portrayal of Marjorie as a mastermind, controlling careers and relationships is a popular internet storyline, but it lacks solid evidence. Her past relationships and lifestyle are often brought up to support these theories. Yet none of it definitively proves manipulation on the level being suggested. In short, while the story is entertaining, most of these receipts rely on speculation rather than confirmed truth.
Never seen them have anything that I ever wanted. If you sign up for their program, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never do an interview.
Oh, man, come on.
Listen, in 20 years, won't do an interview. Nobody's ever talked to her, and that she's never been interviewed anywhere. And now, understand, I'm not talking about one person. What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get. I came in this business saying I was going to expose.
The first word I ever said to her was, I don't know who you are, but I'm gonna marry you one day.
Always carry yourself like a lady. Being a lady never goes out of style.
There's no denying that tension existed between Bernie Mac and Steve Harvey, but the way this story is often told today tends to blur the line between documented facts and dramatic interpretation. Back in the early 2000s, during and after the success of the original Kings of Comedy tour, Bernie did speak candidly in an interview with GQ. In that conversation, he opened up about the competitive nature of Hollywood and hinted that not everyone in his circle was genuinely supportive. He described the entertainment industry as a cold game, which many took as a reflection of his experiences with peers, including Steve. Bernie also addressed rumors that Steve had tried to position himself for roles Bernie was being considered for, including a part in Ocean's 11, directed by Steven Soderbergh. According to how the interview has been interpreted over time, Bernie suggested that someone from Steve's side may have reached out to push for him instead. However, this claim has never been independently verified with concrete evidence, and it largely rests on Bernie's perspective shared in that moment. What stands out more than the accusation itself is Bernie's attitude. Rather than escalating the situation, he made it clear he wasn't interested in attacking anyone publicly. He emphasized that he wasn't the type to sling mud, and instead focused on his craft, making people laugh. That response paints a picture of someone aware of the politics around him, but unwilling to fully engage in the negativity. At the same time, Bernie didn't shy away from subtle criticism. He commented on Steve's onstage presence, suggesting that even during group performances, there was a tendency to make moments about himself. Whether that was meant as a serious critique or just observational humor is open to interpretation, but it added fuel to the perception of underlying rivalry. Years later, Steve addressed these claims in interviews, including a notable conversation with Ed Gordon.
I met Bernie years and years ago when I used to have a golf tournament down in Bermuda. And Bernie was the highlight of my comedy gift to you. And Bernie, unlike me, I get angry about it.
Ooh, that's funny. Next thing you know, you see it on HBO or something, you be sitting at home. That shit's mine, you know? But ain't nobody gonna believe first come first.
Tell me first thing I said to you.
I don't know who this is, but I'm gonna marry.
He denied the accusations outright and suggested that the GQ article misrepresented or exaggerated what Bernie said. From his perspective, their relationship had plenty of positive moments, and the narrative of conflict had been overstated. This creates a classic situation where both sides offer different versions of the same history. Bernie's words suggest tension and possible behind-the-scenes competition, while Steve's response rejects the idea of any deliberate sabotage. Without independent confirmation, it remains a matter of interpretation rather than established fact. Adding to the narrative are later comments from comedians like Corey Holcomb, who have criticized Steve and questioned how opportunities were distributed within the comedy world. These perspectives reflect ongoing opinions within the industry, but again, they don't serve as definitive proof of wrongdoing. In the end, what can be said with confidence is that the world of stand-up comedy, especially at that level, is intensely competitive. Egos clash, opportunities overlap, and stories evolve over time. Bernie choosing to step back and focus more on his personal life likely came from a combination of factors, not just professional tension. So while the idea of outright sabotage makes for a compelling narrative, the reality is more nuanced. A mix of rivalry, perception, and the complex dynamics of fame.
Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her, then you went and married somebody else that think like a man. Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history.
I know that as a mother, if I was ever in a position to where I had to be in charge of somebody else's child, I'd definitely make sure they have a great relationship with that child. But I just don't see how Marjorie, in particular, can call herself a mother to her own children and deliberately try to sabotage my relationship with my son. I don't really get that, because personally, you know, even if it was a vengeance vendetta thing, it's like, who did harm?
I went and took my Winton from me. He turned my son against me, had me evicted from our house, thrown out. All the businesses, all the money, the cars. At a moment when I was down and devastated, he maneuvered everything. He manipulated the courts, everything against me. He went to court and under oath said that on his own he had built this whole thing by himself. And I just sat at the table and cried. I cried through the whole thing, and I fell apart.
That narrative leans heavily into speculation, and it's important to separate what's documented from what's being inferred or dramatized. There are people in the industry who've criticized Steve Harvey over the years. For example, Kathy Hughes, founder of Radio One, now Urban One, has had a complicated professional history with him, and there have been reports of disagreements. However, the extreme characterization of him as one of the most disrespectful individuals ever